Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good afternoon. Good evening and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in great spirits, because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. It always be a blessing. So no, don't forget that. Okay, dear. Okay, me dear. Don't forget that today is a beautiful day, regardless of the crazy mucky muck that we're living through. The madness continues. Yes, the madness continues, guys, and it ain't gonna stop I don't think it's gonna stop anytime soon. Okay, and I got some questiones. We got some things we got to talk about. I'm happy to see you guys today. I'm very happy to see you guys today. I'm always happy to see you guys today, but I'm just happy to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Yes, I know my Christmas stuff is still up. It's going to go down later this week. Okay, get over it. But at the same time, you know, I just feel like I needed some more merriment. You know what I'm saying? I still needed that merriment, especially with everything that's going down. I'm like, I just need to look at that background and just smile. You know what I mean? Like everything going to be all right. You know? Every morning when I rise, you know what I'm saying? So everything's gonna be all right, or whatever the song is. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we got some things we got to get into. So please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what it do. Hit that reaction button. If you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, we're going to talk about that in a second too. Rumble, Twitch, Kick. Make sure you hit that follow button. Follow. Please and thank you. Don't forget to subscribe here on my main channel right here on the Pascal Show YouTube channel. Go over to my second channel, the Pascal Show Clips, and Pascal Raw. Subscribe over there as well. Please and thank you. Okay? Thank you. That'd be greatly appreciated. Hit that join button down below, or actually hit that notification bell. Set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload. Then hit that join button down below. Support the channel if you can. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And of course, check out PascalMerch.com. Go check them mugs out. We got some really great stuff over there. PascalMerch.com. All right, guys, we have got to get into the conversations. There's been a lot of stuff that's been popping off overnight, and of course all during the day today. I may be back on a little bit later on this afternoon to go live to talk about more things that are going on, but obviously there's been a lot of craziness popping off. Now, first and foremost, I just need to say this first. All right. It's just a little thing to let you guys know about what's going on. Now, I don't know if you guys knew, but a few months ago, it's been months. It really has been months, which is pretty insane. But a few months ago, I lost my TikTok account. Yeah, I lost my TikTok account. So 2 things that we need to talk about, okay? 2 things that I need to share with y'all before we jump into all of this conversation, because there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to discuss. Now, one thing is for sure. 1 second. I need to pull it up. There's so much going on here. One thing is for sure. I just need to promote this. One thing is for sure. And then I just posted a video. I was having issues with trying to upload this video. That's why it took me a minute to get on here with you guys to talk about all of the stuff that's been going on. All right. And I have to share that with you guys too, because this is going to be part of the discussion today. Now, first off, hey, that's me. Ha! That's me from the past, from this morning, right? So here's the thing. First and foremost, my TikTok account got banned months ago. All right. And I've been in the middle of appealing and trying to fight to get it back and all of that. And they basically said, well, they're like, too bad, it's just banned. I don't even know why it was banned. I honestly do not know why it was banned. I didn't do anything wrong. All I would do is report the news, and especially, obviously, things have been very politically heavy lately. Everything that's been going on from the Charlie Kirk stuff all the way to, I mean, if I still had my TikTok account during the time of the strikes and the capturing of Maduro, I literally would have been reporting that stuff as well, and not sitting here saying anything bad. It's just me saying, hey, this is what's going on, so on and so forth. So I went, and trust me, CR, you can get it back. I don't think I can get it back. I just really can't. Sorry. I've tried for months, guys. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? They're not going to stop me from doing what I do, reporting the news. But apparently, let's not forget, the White House they kind of run TikTok now. So if you are not up there becoming some sort of bootlicking sycophant where you're like, he can do no wrong, and you're just asking questions, they don't like that stuff. Instantly, you get banned. I'm seeing this on countless other people's accounts, massive accounts now. Because at first I was like, maybe I did something wrong. You feel me? Maybe I did something wrong, but I haven't been doing anything wrong. I've just been reporting the mother-loving news and true crime cases, right? Bringing awareness to missing person cases, missing children cases, and all that. This is what I do. Everything from true crime, political stuff, to pop culture, and all the mucky in between. And sometimes they merge, right? Especially with the Charlie Kirk situation, it all merges, right? But they shut me down before because of me reporting Charlie Kirk. And I was not one of those people that was sitting there parading around, excited, rejoicing over the passing of Charlie Kirk. Hell no. All I was doing is like, hey, the assailant is still on the loose. We don't know where he is. We all got questions on who this person could be, so on and so forth, right? And I got banned for like a month and a half then too. They gave me back my account. But then this time was different. They said I was using bots. Yeah. They said I was using bots to have engagement on my platform and that I was getting bots following my page. You realize my page only had like about 38,000 followers. This is nothing like in comparison to other accounts that have millions of followers, right? But they were sitting there saying, you were using bots. Never used bots in my life. And I will continue to do so for the rest of my existence on these platforms. I want organic growth. I want my followers and the people listening to me to be real. I'm not here to talk to no AI robot crap. I'm here to talk to you guys. Flesh and blood and heart pumping in your chest. Okay? Real people. So I appealed multiple times. Sent out many emails, etc. Just basically saying, hey, this is messed up. Like I was really starting to jump in and really get into that TikTok world, right? And then what happened? They banned me again. And this time, it's been for a long time. So I said, F it. They're not listening to me. They're not responding to anything that I'm trying to have happen. So I just started a whole new account. All right. Just so you guys know. So I got to start from ground zero all over again. I think I have 22 something followers on my TikTok. It gonna be fine. It be fine. We gonna make it happen. We gonna make it work. So I just wanted to let you guys know. All right. You can definitely go and follow me. You can definitely go follow me now on my TikTok account. It is the Pascal Show 1, the number 1. Okay, go follow me, but I'm gonna let me talk. I'm gonna let me cook. Yeah, that works. Hey, what's up, y'all? So yeah, I got kicked off this thing for some weird reason. Don't even know why. Was just reporting the news, but now I have to start all over again. Yes, guys, from the 38,000 followers I had on this platform, I have to start from scratch all over again. So make sure you're following here. There's going to be a lot of information. We're going to keep on telling the truth, keep on covering the facts, and keep on giving you guys the news, everything from true crime to pop culture to politics and all the mucky in between. So make sure you're following this this TikTok platform. It is called The Pascal Show 1. Okay, the number 1, The Pascal Show 1. And until they actually give me back my account, we are just going to be using this platform for the time being. So if you appreciate my reports, you appreciate my comedy, you appreciate the variety, please make sure you're following here. The Pascal Show 1. Okay, now you get the idea. All right. Me telling you in the past and me in present time, okay, telling y'all, hey, go check it out. Follow that page, and for me to even see any semblance of any type of funding, okay, on that platform, which would be really great to have that come back again. I'm just going to be honest. All right. I got to get to 10,000 followers. It's a piece of cake. Why did I laugh like Tucker Carlson right there? Okay. But it's going to be an uphill battle. Okay. It's going to be a climb. So again, if you can go to the Pascal Show 1, all right, don't worry, I won't laugh like Tucker Carlson again. But if you can go over there and follow, that would greatly be appreciated. Again, I got to get to it's going to be a long hike, guys, because I got to get to 10,000 followers just so I can make money again on that platform. All right. Yeah, it's going to be fine. Yeah, Cole. You got this. Yeah. Yeah. Classic. I appreciate it. You get it done. You'll get it done. Get her done. I hope so. Hopefully it doesn't take several years to make that happen. Okay. But if you can, please go over there. The Pascal Show 1. There are some fake accounts out there, by the way, that have been using all of my content. All of it. By the way, I have to hit the dun. Just saw that just today. Okay. There's other accounts that are not real. Those are not me. Just so you know. The Pascal Show 1. And in a way, I'm kind of flattered. Like I'm at that level. Like word, I'm at that level. Word that they're stealing all my content, all of it. Word, like word. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of flattered. Like now I feel, I'm very much like feeling, you know what I mean? Like wow, I'm there. That's not good though. They shouldn't be using my stuff. You feel me? They shouldn't be using my stuff. So they're going to be in trouble. So the only one that is real is this one right here. The Pascal Show 1. If you see user 657939294099999, that's not me. Okay? I just made up that thing. But there is one called user, and it's basically a fake account. They took my icon. They are taking all of my videos that I've done in the past, and they're repurposing them and reposting daily. Can you believe that ish? And people are responding and talking on that TikTok like they think they're talking to me. Yeah, I'm going to hit the dun. And I ain't never seen that before until today. So they've been talking to somebody and it ain't me. Ain't that crazy? That's crazy, but that's real. And I'm kind of like, oh, okay, okay. But at the same time, it's messed up. That's wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's not cool. It's like a tinge of like, wow, I'm there. I'm on this level. Wow. We getting up here. We climbing the ladder. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you? You know what I'm saying? They'll be paying the price. Trust and believe. But at the same time, just so you know, all that other crap is not me. I mean, it is me. They're literally using my face and my content, and and it's old stuff from like years ago, but they're using the stuff and they're posting daily, but it's not me. The only authentic one is right here. That's why it says 1. The Pascal Show 1. Make sure you're there. Make sure you are following, please and thank you. Okay? That would mean the world to me. And I'm going to keep promoting and I'm going to keep letting you guys know what's popping, what's crack-a-lacking, because, yeah, that is very important. I'm sorry for saying it, okay? But I got to be honest, I make a living off these platforms. Real talk. I do. Why do you think I'm on this mug every day? You see what I'm saying? So please make sure, all right, to follow me over there because I really am trying to get that platform monetized so I can get back to getting to where I was before, okay? Giving you guys the news, giving you guys the updates, and I'm still going to do it. That's why we're going to get into this other thing in a second. I'm going to share that with you too. So don't worry, we got some things to talk about. But I'm going to separate my TikTok and shorts here in just a minute because, we got to get into the nitty gritty and what's going on here. Okay. So first and foremost, how's everybody doing? Okay. How's everybody? Is everybody chilling? I don't think everybody's, I don't think everybody's chilling. I really don't. I think everybody's really concerned and everybody's looking at what's going on across the pond and down south, right? Everybody's looking at what's going on. Venezuela is losing its doggone mind. We just had Maduro he was all up in the courtroom saying, I am the president of Venezuela, right? And saying that he was kidnapped and that he's a prisoner of war. Because I'm just sorry. For those that are, MAGA for life, let me just say this really quick. Imagine somebody going into your house and taking your kid. No, you know what? How about no. I would even say like taking your dog or something like that. No. It's got to be even more personal. But at the same time, like John Wick, don't you dare touch my dogs. I will come and get you. You know what I'm saying? John Wick lost his doggone mind because when they took the life of his dog and then, he got beat bad. You feel me? Yeah, it's F around and find out. Pete Hegseth style. You understand? Don't you dare. But let's make it even more personal. Somebody goes in to your home and just takes your kid or takes your lover, your wife, your husband, your spouse. And then they say, well, we didn't want any beef. This ain't no beef. We're not starting nothing with y'all. We just need your wife. Okay? And we're going to keep her for good. Is that okay? No. Peace and love, though, brother. Brother. Peace and love, brother. Now, you are the one that had your wife or your husband, your spouse taken from you. And you're never going to see that person's ass, not never again. Not one freckle, not one pimple on that booty. You shall never see them again. Would you say, asking for a friend, would you say that that's about peace? That the message sent from the person that actually took your loved one from you, would you consider that peace? Now, I'm just talking about the government of Venezuela. The people of Venezuela, yes, they're shucking and jiving in the streets. You know what I mean? They're like, yes. You know what I mean? He gone, right? But what about the government? The powers that be? They're not looking at that as an act of war? He just said he is a prisoner of war. I'm just asking. No matter what, let me just say this, because two things could be true at the same time. Yes, I'm happy that Maduro's taken. Yes, I am happy he's been taken. Absolutely. Damn right. Take that mother-loving tyrant down. Get him locked up and let him have justice served to him on a silver platter, right? But then there's the other part too, that sure, you got the bad guy gone. Cool. Happy about it. But at the same time, is anything going to change? Because if it's going to maintain the status quo, what's the point of taking him then? The whole point is to take him and then dismantle the government that exists in that country to make sure It is resurrected, let's just say, like a phoenix from the ashes, rises a stronger, better government for this country, for the people of Venezuela. For the people. We talking about the people, dog. We talking about those kids. And as Mr. T said, anything for the kids. Right? But it's still the same. Nothing's changed. You have Delcy Rodriguez taking over. She's the vice president. She just took, literally, instead of demolishing the entire Hot Fudge Sundae, you literally just took the cherry off the top. But there's still a whole bunch of sprinkles on this mug. Still a sundae. Still looks like a sundae. Still, for real, tastes like a sundae. So something ain't right. Now, of course, we already know what this is all about. It's all about that oil. Oil, everybody. It's all about oil. Has nothing to do with taking care of the people, making the people of Venezuela rise back up to the top to be a prominent, flourishing country. No, this is about getting back what Trump says was ours to begin with. And let me just say this. Allegedly, this oil wasn't even ours to begin with. So, yeah. You don't find that interesting? Just saying. It's a very, very interesting situation here. Right? Now, hold on. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. So again, I think this is very interesting stuff. Now, there was just a press conference. Trump just did a press conference. Honestly, I haven't gotten a chance to see it. We may take a look at or see if we could find some highlights about that here in just a little bit. But here's something that I think is interesting as well. This is going to be bad. Like, there's a lot of recipes for possible disasters here. And now we're all sitting here. It's almost like we're watching, like these two daredevils and they're playing chicken. Cars going at each other, right? And they're playing chicken. It's going high speed, right? You know what I mean? And we're all at the edge of our seat. We don't want to see it, but we want to see it because it matters, especially when you have a situation where we could be deployed anywhere, or there could be invasions coming. You see what I'm saying? This is not good, but we're all sitting there, literally sitting at the edge of our seats, watching these countries play chicken with each other. And we're waiting to see if somebody's going to veer left or veer right to get out of the possibility of a collision. And this is a situation where we're seeing it right now. Because right now, you have an oil tanker, Venezuelan oil tanker, that is racing towards Russia right now, trying to seek some sort of protection from Russia right now. This is not good. Doesn't matter how friendly and how chummy, doesn't matter how much of the BFFs forever that he is with Putin. It doesn't matter. When it comes to power, when it comes to the money, when it comes to oil, when it comes to all those things, you don't think that they're going to sit there and go, it's business. My friend, привет, comrade. But this is business, my friend. You don't think that's going to happen? You don't think that that's going to happen? Let's take a look at this. This is crazy. So, U.S. Special Forces plan to seize a rogue Venezuelan oil tanker in the North Atlantic as it races towards Russia and raises Putin's flag. So this boat that is a Venezuelan oil tanker throws up the Russian flag, basically saying, like, don't touch us. We're one with Russia. Yet U.S. is going to be going over there and they're going to pirate some booty. And I don't mean that them yams. I'm talking about I'm talking about that loot. Okay? This is crazy. So, the U.S. plans to use special forces to take a rogue Venezuelan oil tanker in the North Atlantic as it races towards Russia. So the Trump administration wants to launch the audacious raid on the Russian registered ship, which is currently 500 miles off the coast of Ireland, and would rather seize it than sink it, according to the CBS. Now, when it comes to CBS, we all got to side eye CBS, okay? CBS is in Trump's back pocket, okay? Or Trump is in their back pocket for sure. Let's just keep it a bean with CBS. Well, it's the likes of CBS, Fox News, Newsmax, and OAN or OAN or whatever the hell's called. You know what I mean? All of them pretty much. But now he's got CBS. They are literally licking his boots. We already know that, okay? But this is what apparently he's saying. We'd rather seize it than sink it. Why would you sink? Clearly, they're not going to sink it, but at the same time, why would they even say that out loud? We're just going to fly over and, we thought about maybe just dropping bombs on it, and just waste all that good loot. But they're like, no, we're just going to seize it. We're just going to take it. You realize that as it's going towards Russia, what is Russia going to do? How's Russia going to respond to this? Are they just going to go, yeah, come on in, America. Take the loot. Take the oil. It's fine. You really think that Russia's going to let this happen? I don't know. I don't think so. Like I said, they may be friends, but they ain't friends. Okay? I mean, they went from strangers to friends to lovers, but they can go right back to strangers all over again. Trust and believe. Okay, the mission is to the mission to intercept the ship could come as soon as this week, the broadcaster says. After the surgical strike on Caracas that led to the capture of Maduro, the Pentagon has set their sights on the Bella 1 after sanctioning the vessel in 2024 for operating within a shadow fleet of tankers transporting illicit Venezuelan oil. So, and in what could be a diplomatic nightmare for Keir Starmer, it is believed American troops would use the UK as their launch pad for the actual attack. So, again, U.S. military aircraft flying from RAF Mildenhall, something like that, from in Suffolk are monitoring the ship according to flight tracking data. So again, sometime this week, they could be swooping in and taking over. And I'm telling you right now, they're seeking refuge. This is clearly what they're trying to do. They're hightailing it towards Russia in hopes that Russia will come in, swoop in, and go, no, America, you don't get to touch that ish. This is ours now. They came to us for refuge. We shall save them. And then what happens? Could that possibly mean we get into fisticuffs? Two besties going at each other? Mildenhall, thank you so much. I'm like Mildenhall. Thank you so much. Thank you for that correction, Amy. I appreciate it. But think about that. Is there a possibility that two besties, Putin and Trump, are going to go fisticuffs with each other over this oil tanker? Or are either one of them just going to sit there and go, no, you got it. No, you. It's like almost like opening the door for somebody and they're like, no, you first. No, you first. Right? I think they're going to go head to head for this. I don't see we already know how Putin be. You really don't think Putin is going to not? You know what I'm saying? Michael says Putin got better things to do. Really, though? It's a lot of oil. It's a whole lot of oil. You never know. He might just do it. He might go, all right, take it. I don't care. Take the tanker. Go ahead. Maybe. I mean, I would assume they're friendly enough that maybe Putin would just back off and go, I've got plenty of oil. Maybe. But we'll see what happens. Russia might come over and be like, turn around. No. Turn your ass around. Go back towards wherever you were. Go back to where you came from, right? That's possible too. Anything is possible at this point. But that's something I find very interesting. Let's continue, because there's a few things that happened. I just wanted to share that information that just went down. Now, first off, Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Machado went on to Sean Hannity last night. And I have to tell you, what in the F is this all about? What's going on? Now, let me remind you, she is the Nobel Peace Prize winner of 2024, or 2025, I'm sorry. I just want to make that abundantly clear. She won above Trump. They appointed this award for her over Trump. Trump did everything in his power to get that Nobel Peace Prize in 2025, and he did everything he could to say, hey, I'm all about peace. I'm all about peace. I'm all about peace. I'm President Peace. I'm going to stop all this craziness. I'm going to stop all the wars that are going on all over the world. But I feel like the committee, the Nobel Peace Prize committee, looked at the situation and said, hey, you're great. It's great that you're causing, starting to create peace all over the world, but you have problems in your own country that are not peaceful at all. That's just kind of one of the main things I keep thinking about. And maybe one of the reasons why he didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize this time around. In comes Maria Corina Machado. She wins. She is an activist. She is now a person that has been very much against the tyrannical leadership of Maduro. I want to make that abundantly clear. This is one of the main reasons why she got the Nobel Peace Prize, because of her unfettered passion to trying to make Venezuela better and trying to, of course, shake the leadership and shake the regime that's actually in Venezuela. Now, Trump wasn't very happy about him losing that. He was not very happy about losing said Nobel Peace Prize. And now we got a whole situation where Maduro's gone. And there was questions, in fact, I should pull that up too, before we look at this here. But he was asked about Machado running and basically becoming the new leader of Venezuela. And this is what he said. He basically said, I think it'd be very tough for her to be the leader. She doesn't have the support or the respect within the country. She is a very nice woman, but she doesn't have the respect. Mind you, this is a person that was hiding out for months, trying to duck ridicule, political persecution, trying to avoid any type of bad things coming her way because of her opposition towards the leadership that was in Venezuela at the time. The leadership is still there, by the way. I want to make that abundantly clear. Maduro is gone, but his presence is still in the government. It's still there. His leadership is still there. He's got his apprentice. He's got his right-hand man or right-hand woman now running the place. Let's just be real. But again, this is what he said. Take a listen.
Aware of the location of opposition leader Machado, and have you been in contact with her?
No, we haven't. No, we haven't.
Mr. President,
Do you have any hesitations about Machado?
Mr. President, on Monday,
I think it would be very tough for her to be the leader. She doesn't have the support within or the respect within the country. She's a very nice woman, but she doesn't have the respect to be
Mr.
leader.
President,
She doesn't have the respect of the country, which makes no sense because she has been a person that the people have been championing for the longest time because she has been about the people and trying to make things better for the country. All of her focus has literally been nothing but trying to find a better way and a better life for the Venezuelan people. Interesting, right? He's like, no, I don't want to give it to her. I don't want to give her the keys to the palace. Especially, let's be real. He doesn't want to give her the keys to the actual bank. There's a lot of loot we're talking about here, guys. It's a lot of loot that we're talking about. He doesn't want that. He's not trying to give that to anybody. He wants to scoop up that bag for himself. Now, this is weird. Like we were just talking about. Enter Maria Machado. He's like, nah, I don't think she has the people behind her, blah, blah, blah. Yet she is somebody that they have been supporting for a long time. People were hiding her out while Maduro and his regime were out there trying to find her. She was hiding out. This is one of the main things, one of the main reasons why she didn't even show up to receive her actual Nobel Peace Prize award. She actually did it hiding out somewhere. This woman, I mean, unless she's not in hiding anymore, I'm assuming she's not anymore, but she was in hiding because of her beliefs and trying to change what's going on in this world. She hears this from Trump, and then she goes on to Sean Hannity's show, and she says some of the most unbelievable things I never thought I'd ever hear from an activist and potential, leader of Venezuela. I never thought I'd ever hear her say these things. And now she's saying, I will give you the Nobel Peace Prize. Trump, I will give it to you. I will relinquish my name and the honor of receiving this Nobel Peace Prize, and I will hand it to you with bells on. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. She went onto a very, very Republican platform, by the way. Sean Hannity, if you didn't know, he's very Trump, okay? Hardcore Trump supporter, MAGA, old school MAGA. And she said all of this stuff. There are people out here that are basically saying, man, the Nobel Peace Prize committee should just take the damn award back from her too. Like, what in the hell? That's what some people are saying out here. The reaction here is real and it's insane. Let's take a listen to this conversation.
This horrific regime, the question remains, who will succeed the brutal dictator and bring much needed change and freedom to the country? One name making headlines is Venezuela's opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado. Remember, she rose to prominence after winning the independently run opposition presidential primary with more than 92% of the vote before Maduro then dictated that she be taken off the ballot. Now, that was only back in 2023. In the hours following the successful raid and the arrest of Maduro, Machado posted on X saying, quote, Venezuelans, the hour of freedom has arrived. Now, remember, upon winning the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize, Maria dedicated that prize and award to President Trump. She said on X, quote, in part, I dedicate this prize to the suffering people of Venezuela and to President Trump for his decisive support of our cause. But that is far from the only praise she has given President Trump. Now, following his decisive victory against Kamala Harris, she congratulated the president, promised that the rightful democratic government of Venezuela would be a reliable ally to the U.S. Now, she was also quick to thank President Trump for his, quote, firmness and determination in upholding the law after Maduro was ousted. In fact, since he won in November of 2024, Maria Corina Machado has thanked President Trump and his support and commended his resolve to help the people of Venezuela many, many times publicly and on X and elsewhere. She joins us now for an exclusive interview. Maria, it's good to see you again. How are you?
I'm fine, and I want to thank you, Sean, you personally and Fox News for the incredible support you have given throughout all this long journey for the cause of democracy of our people in Venezuela.
Let's go back to 2023. You won 92% of the vote to be the opposition leader. Maduro prevented you from being on the ballot. How was he able to do that?
Well, because they absolutely control the judiciary system and also the electoral council. So it was a miracle. Everybody told us it was impossible to carry independent elections in a primary process. And we were able to bring the country together to carry these elections organized by civil society with millions of people participating. And the fact is that cowardly, he feared us, he feared me, Maduro, so he thought that by banning me, he would stop us from winning. But exactly the opposite happened. Edmundo González Urrutia standing in my place, and we moved all around the country and managed to bring a country together and defeated Maduro by a landslide with incredible under extreme conditions, unfair conditions, Sean.
Well, that was the person that replaced you and that you're very close to. But let me go back and talk about it. You stayed in the country, but you were hiding within your country until you went to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. And I want you to tell us, you never went back at that point. Did you not go back because you feared for your life? And tell us, I mean, it's not very usual that people will dedicate the Nobel Peace Prize to the leader of a different country and say publicly, he deserves this more than I do. But you did that.
Let me be very clear. As soon as I learned that we had been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, I dedicated to President Trump because I believed at that point that he deserved it. And a lot of people, most people said it was impossible to achieve what he has just done on Saturday, January 3rd. So if I believed he deserved it on October, imagine now. I think he has proven to the world what he means. I mean, January 3rd will go down in history as the day justice defeated a tyranny.
Wow. Wow. Okay. First off, she, of course, like in the very beginning, which Sean Hannity explained, she did dedicate she dedicated it to the people of Venezuela, but then she also dedicated it to Trump, right? Because let's be real. At the end of the day, this, at the time, I mean, before January 3rd, this was something that, of course, she wanted to be on his side. Of course, she's going to sit there and say nice things and say, oh, I dedicate this also to not only to Venezuela, but to Trump as well. Why would she say that at that time? Not now, but at that time, because she wanted what happened on January 3rd to actually happen. Do you really think that she would sit there and say, F Trump? Let's just say that. Let's just say she said, this is to the people of Venezuela and the award went to the right person. Let's just say that happened. No, she's playing politics right here. She's playing politics even now. This is a politician, guys. This isn't just a activist, leader, etc. This is a politician. And she knows exactly what would have happened if she kept Trump smiling in hopes that maybe, hey, you are like an enemy of the enemy is my friend. You don't like Maduro? I don't like Maduro too. Great. We have something in common. Let's be friends. You see what I'm saying? So this is exactly what we're seeing right now. Clearly, she got what she wanted. Maduro's gone. Justice is served-ish. The regime is still there. The government is still there. The next people in line, the totem pole, if you will, still exists. All they're doing is moving one person up and putting another person back, a new person back on the bottom. Nothing's changed yet. There's still corruption. This is the reason why she still needs him. she still needs the U.S. She still needs Trump to come in and kind of muck things up even more. Come in and take the whole thing down so that hopefully she can maybe run the whole country herself and be the president of Venezuela. This is what I'm thinking. I think she's like, hey, I'm going to keep him in my back pocket. I want to keep him in good. I want him to enjoy and be happy with me because you are an enemy of my enemy. Let's just say that. Cool. And now she's continuing to say even more stuff that is kind of making her sound. I mean, it's making her sound bad. For those that are out there that are, let's just say, happy that Maduro's gone, but aren't happy that it's Trump that's doing it, some are probably reacting to this situation from Machado like, what in the upside down are we seeing here? Right? So again, I think she's playing political chess right now. And I think she's doing whatever she can to try to get what she wants, which is taking down the entire system so that it can be rebuilt either by her leadership or by somebody else who is not corrupt. That's what I think. But let's continue. It's just wild that she's like, I'm willing to give it back. I'm willing to give it to him. Give him the Nobel Peace Prize, anything so I can get my country back. That's literally what is the vibe that I'm feeling right now. But let's see.
It's a milestone, and it's not only huge for the Venezuelan people and our future. I think it's a huge step for humanity, for freedom and human dignity.
Have you spoken with President Trump since then?
I spoke with President Trump on October 10th, the same day the prize was announced. Not since then, but I do want to say today, on behalf of the Venezuelan people, how grateful we are for his courageous vision, the actions, historical actions he has taken against this narco-terrorist regime to start dismantling this structure and bringing Maduro to justice, which means that 30 million Venezuelans are now closer to freedom, but also that the United States of America is a safer country nowadays.
Right. Did you at any point offer to give him the Nobel Peace Prize? Did that actually happen? I had read that somewhere. I wasn't sure if it was true.
Well, it hasn't happened yet, but I certainly would love to be able to personally tell him that we believe the Venezuelan people, because this is a prize of the Venezuelan people, certainly want to give it to him and share it with him. What he has done, as I said, is historic. It's a huge step towards a democratic transition. And I want to convey this to the American people, Sean. A free Venezuela means, first, a security ally, dismantling the criminal hub of the Americas and turning it into a security shield. You know, the strongest ally to dismantle all these criminal structures that have made, so much damage and harm to our people and to the American people as well. Secondly, we will turn Venezuela into the energy hub of the Americas. We will bring rule of law. We will open markets. We will give security to foreign investment. And third, we will bring millions of Venezuelans that have been forced to flee our country back home.
Hold on. First off, holy cow. So she says he can have that Nobel Peace Prize. Please just take it, right? She's like, take it, it's yours, right? There's that. She said, I have never said it out loud or said it, but I'll say it right now. Take it all back, okay? Just so I can I'll do anything to get Venezuela back on its feet. But here's the other part that makes me very concerned. First off, remember what I said earlier when the invasion and the capturing of Maduro first happened, when all that was breaking. I said, I just don't see Maria Corina Machado being the person that's going to, run the country the way that Trump wants her to run the country. Because at first, I thought it was going to be more of a situation of she doesn't want to work under the leadership of another, what some would think is another dictator or another tyrannical leader like Trump. I'm sorry, but there are people, there are corners in the world that do feel like he is, dictatory. So, but this now surprises the F out of me. This whole thing surprises the F out of me because he said, I don't think she's ready. I don't think she has enough support. So we're not going to give it over to Machado. Very nice woman, but we're not going to do it. Right? He said that. And I honestly thought, my gut reaction was, she is someone who goes against the machine. You know what I mean? She's the one who's going against the regime, against the tyrannical narco-terrorist leaders like Maduro, right? So would she be the one to actually bend a knee to Trump? I thought no, during that presser. Man, am I wrong? I was completely wrong. Because I thought, she's a rebel. She's somebody who's going against the regime, going against the system. And now she is playing the system. Do you not notice? That's why I'm shocked by this. I figured she would have been like, no, we're good. We don't need Trump here. We don't need America here. We will make Venezuela amazing by the hands of the hardworking Venezuelan people, not with America's help, because we don't need the same thing to happen again. See what I'm saying? But that's not what she's saying. She's like, no, we'll be able to build the infrastructure. We will get all this money from the oil, and Venezuela will be rich with not only just from the resources, but the people there will be rich again. Are we sure about that, Machado? Are we sure about that, Maria? Are we sure about that? Think about that. Like I said, I got questions. And I feel like she's moving things like a politician. Right now, she is putting on her politician hat and she is trying to move mountains and she's trying to make things happen. But she's also saying things like, we are willing to bend a knee. We are willing to cooperate with America, with the American government so that we can make Venezuela thrive. And then she says, and we will make sure that we get all the people that are out there that have migrated to America. All those bad people too. I'm assuming she's saying all the bad people because that's what Trump's only been talking about. You got rapists, you got drug dealers, you got them all bad people. All bad people coming to America. We can't have that anymore. So she must be talking about that too, right? So she's saying all the talking points that's going to make him go, ooh. And she's willing to give me the Nobel Peace Prize? Oh. So I could play her like a puppet. And she'll give me the Nobel Peace Prize. Huh. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? She's definitely, Jess, she's definitely playing the game. But here's the thing. What's going to happen? If she becomes leader, she says all these things that make him feel nice and ooey and gooey inside. What's going to happen next? Is she saying this and then as soon as she gets the position, right? What? She just deploys all army to protect the country? That kind of stuff. Like, are we back to that? Think about it. She's saying all the talking points that I'm sure he really appreciates. And she went onto a platform that she knows for a fact he watches. He watches Hannity. She didn't go over to CNN and say this stuff. She went to Fox, to Sean Hannity, of all people, and did this interview and is saying all of this. So you know for a fact Trump's seeing this because she's like, let me be leader. Take my Nobel Peace Prize. I will give you that Nobel Peace Prize if you give me leadership of this country. And I will work with you guys. We will work in tandem. We will make Venezuela thrive. And we'll get all the bad guys from America back here to Venezuela. So she's saying all the stuff that's going to make him do cartwheels, or at least try to do cartwheels. But I wouldn't recommend it. He might break a hip.
To build a strong nation, prosperous nations, open society. We will leave behind all the destruction this socialist regime, criminal regime has brought to our people and turn Venezuela into the main ally of the United States in Latin America.
I think she's tired of hiding. I think that's the other thing too. She's like, let me out. I haven't seen the sun in a year. You know what I'm saying? This is wild. Is anybody else surprised about this? Hit the number one if you're surprised with Maria. She bent both knees. She's bending both knees, and she's bending from the hip. Literally. She's on all fours now. What the hell?
You also offered reparations to Lake and Riley's family and other families that have lost loved ones because of Tren de Aragua. Now the question is, when do you believe that you might make your return to Venezuela? Do you feel safe in doing so? And when you get back, obviously there has got to be stability. And I would assume, and the president has said at the right point, when there's security, that in fact the Venezuelan people then will govern themselves. Are you okay with that transitional plan?
Well, first of all, I'm planning to go back to Venezuela as soon as possible. As I've always said, Sean, every day I make a decision where I am more useful for a cause. That's why I stayed in hiding for over 16 months. And that's why I decided to go out, because I believed that at this moment I'm more useful to our cause, being able to speak out from where I am right now. But I'm planning to go as soon as possible back home. Secondly, what we're seeing right now in the last 24 hours is really alarming. We're seeing an escalation. Just today, an executive order signed by Maduro the same day he was ousted and he was detained. Imagine that, of external commotion has been published. And it mandates persecution and detention of every Venezuelan that supports President Trump's actions. Just today, 14 journalists have been detained. So this is very alarming. This is something that has to be followed carefully, I'm sure, by the United States government and by the Venezuelan people. And certainly we believe that this transition should move forward. Delcy Rodriguez, as you know, is one of the main architects of torture, persecution, corruption, narco trafficking. She's the main ally and liaison with Russia, China, Iran. Certainly not an individual that could be, trusted by international investors. And she's really rejected, repudiated by the Venezuelan people. So we move forward. And as you mentioned, and we won an election by a landslide under fraudulent conditions. In free and fair elections, we will win by over 90% of the votes. I have no doubt about it.
Maria, Karina.
Okay. So what do you think of that, guys? I mean, honestly, I see this as a situation where she sees this as a possibility of her running this country. This is the reason why she's like, I came out of hiding. I've been hiding for a very long time. Now I feel that I can be out here doing these interviews, come out to the public and be, a part of this country again. I think she's going, damn, I could go back out there. I can go back out there and I can run this country. I can run this country finally. And she's excited. So she's like, hey, I will do anything I can, everything and anything I can in my power to make Trump happy so that I can have full control of this country. But you got to understand, Trump is the CEO of Venezuela oil. That's literally what the company is now called. This is what the land is called. This is what Venezuela is called. All right. This is Venezuela oil. It is not a country anymore. Now it's a business. So she's got to be okay with having to basically answer to everything that Trump says. That's basically it. And I don't see that happening. You got to remember, this is also somebody who also was trying to rise against the situation, right? Do you really think that she's not going to try to rise against him if she was to be leader? Think about that, guys. Venezuela. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. So again, she's not really going to have full control over her country. And then when she starts to run, like what if she was to run the country, she ain't going to be happy with the results. There's going to be somebody else in that bed with her, and she doesn't want that. She wants the whole king-size bed to herself. That ain't going to happen. She's going to be in bed with the entire Trump administration. And I don't know if she's going to be okay with that. And I think that's the other reason why Trump isn't down to give her the keys to the country. And also the fact that she won the Nobel Peace Prize over him. That probably has left a sour and bitter taste in his mouth as well. It's just something to think about. But again, like I said, I know what she's doing. I know a lot of people are reacting to that and they're all clutching their pearls and they're like, oh, no, she did. Oh, no, she didn't. Oh, no, she didn't. But she did because she knows the game. She knows exactly what she's doing. And does she have any other choice? Think about it. Does she have another choice? I honestly don't think so. I honestly do not think so. So, very interesting, right? We got more we got to talk about. We got to talk about some other things here because we do have to get into this main event because everybody's been reacting to this whole thing with Dr. Evil, okay? Dr. Evil. What are we talking about here? Throw me a freaking bone here. Stephen Miller. We got to talk about Stephen Miller here, guys. He had quite the interesting conversation with the likes of Jake Tapper, if I'm correct. Man. Yeah, it was an interesting conversation they had. It was a time that was had. Let's just say that. It was definitely a time that was had. And we're back and continue. He said some things that just sounded insane to me. And I'm not talking about Jake Tapper. I'm talking about Stephen Miller and what he said. All right. Because from my understanding, it looks like he may be running Venezuela, or at least the one overseeing everything that's going on in Venezuela. That's what the rumors are saying right now, that Stephen Miller will be appointed the leadership, I guess, the control and the overseeing of all the things that are going on in Venezuela. Stephen Miller. Someone that everybody side eyes about, for real. And honestly, I'm not surprised about that. The reaction and the theories and feelings about Stephen Miller. Now, if you don't know who Steve Miller is, like I said, trying to get a decent still of this guy. There's not really much of a good still of this guy. I've never seen this man smile until yesterday. That was the first time I ever seen a photo of him actually smiling. Okay. And this is him. Voldemort. Nosferatu. I'm sorry. I'm about to start laughing like Tucker Carlson again. I just like calling him Dr. Evil. It's just how he talks. No, it's not because he's bald. It is what it is. I'm bald too. It is what it is. Okay. but it's just how he talks, his demeanor. It's just how he approaches things. I'm waiting for SNL to do a parody of this interview because this interview has gone super viral. Everybody and their mama is reacting to this particular interview that Stephen Miller had. Some people are saying that Stephen Miller annihilated Jake Tapper in this interview. And some say, oh, hell no, he's just crazy. I'll leave that up to you guys. Take a look at this very interesting downward spiral train wreck of a conversation.
About what happened in Venezuela over the weekend and what happens now. White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy Stephen Miller joins us now. Stephen, thanks so much for joining us. So a source briefed on the Venezuelan operation told me that a handful of American troops sustained bullet and shrapnel wounds, but none are life-threatening. Can you share with us how serious any injuries to American service members might be, and also any information you can tell us about any Venezuelan civilian casualties?
Yes. Well, let me take the second part first, which is that the overwhelming share of casualties and fatalities that were inflicted were against the Cuban guard that had exerted control over the people of Venezuela. So what many don't realize is that for years, Maduro stayed in power through an illicit deal with Cuban communists to provide his security because he didn't trust his own people to keep him safe. That is how much he was hated inside of Venezuela. So what our special forces encountered when they did that daring midnight assault into Caracas were armed Cuban guards, and they sustained massive numbers of casualties. I can't give you an exact number. The numbers that you've seen in terms of the Cuban guards publicly reported are probably lower than the actual number that were killed. To your first question, no, none of the, at least as I've been briefed, none of the injuries are life-threatening. Everybody is stable. And it just underscores the remarkable skill, precision, courage, and capability of our special forces. And I wanted to set the table one more time for your audience. I'm sure you've talked about it at length already, but the United States of America launched an assault force into Venezuelan territory, which has sophisticated air defense systems, which has sophisticated surveillance systems, which has weaponry that they've received that can take out planes and helicopters from our foreign adversaries that they've been stockpiling for years in anticipation of the possibility of such an action. Maduro was staying in a military fortress. In other words, since the United States had started amassing this armada under President Trump's leadership and direction, he'd increasingly narrowed the scope of his own movement. He was sleeping in a fortress. And so we flew into Caracas. These special forces engage in direct gunfire with elite Cuban guards, and every single kill was an enemy kill.
So there were no civilian casualties?
Well, I didn't see any reports of any civilian casualties. But my point is that in this raging gunfire battle,
hold on. First off, there are plenty of reports of civilian casualties in this situation. Plenty. So why is he sitting there going like, oh yeah, well, not the reports that I've seen. That is some serious selective hearing, selective reading, selective whatever consumption of whatever information you're receiving. Are you out your freaking mind? They're saying over 100 people. All right. They're saying at least 80 are civilian, at least. So again, what are you talking about? You don't know about that's the thing. They put out here going, oh, it was a total like one-sided thing. No casualties whatsoever, except for soldiers, except those that were protecting and trying to guard Maduro. Other than that, no civilians, no problem. They didn't see the devastation. They didn't see all the half of buildings getting blown off, etc. Come on now, guys. Come on. Like I said, they're going to do he's going to try everything he can to move the goalpost to make it seem like this was the most perfect operation ever done in the history of American military.
Took place. The point that I'm making to you is No Americans were killed.
Right.
Because of the planning, skill, and preparation, the enemy sustained massive losses.
Yeah.
Not one of our assets was lost, not one of our people was lost.
So let's talk about what next. Delcy Rodriguez was formally sworn as Venezuela's acting president this afternoon. She was the vice president. She described the U.S. intervention as, quote, without a doubt, Zionist in character, unquote. Is acting President Rodriguez someone that the U.S. can work with?
So the acting president put out a statement. I want to say, Jake, it was last night, pledging cooperation with the United States, pledging full and complete cooperation.
But they also just passed a law saying that if you supported the operation against outlawing individuals or threatening with criminal penalties individuals, if they supported the operation against Maduro, I think they did that today.
Well, the good news there, Jake, is that nobody inside of Venezuela supported the operation, so it's a law without meaning or effect. Look, Jake, there's going to be some posturing that occurs when a nation has been so thoroughly defeated in this way. The United States of America, think about this, Jake. The United States of America has encircled this nation for months. One of the largest naval armadas in history has been stationed off its coast.
Yeah.
Fighter jets have been encircling the island. We've been engaging in kinetic lethal strikes against Maduro's drug boats and trained Arauco gang members leaving the island.
Yeah.
We have launched a complete oil embargo of the ghost fleet, the dark ships.
We've been covering
on
all
top
of it.
of that,
Yeah.
and now on top of all of that, right? Maduro is sitting in a jail cell in New York, as is his wife. So of course there's going to be, this is very important though, of course there's going to be some posturing.
Okay.
Without giving anything away, I want to be very clear. Very clear. The government has sent messages. This is such an important point, Jake. To the Secretary of State, to our senior U.S. government official negotiators. They have sent message after message making clear that they will meet the terms, demands, conditions, and requirements of the United States.
Okay.
And I want to be very clear about that, Jake.
So let's the question.
Okay.
Question about who is now.
He just basically broke it all down. Like he just broke news that's old news. Does that make sense? He's like, we're going to do everything we can. Everything we can. And what they promised us, we're going to make sure they do what they say they're going to do. We're going to make sure that happens. Yeah.
Running Venezuela is one that even members of Congress who are big Trump supporters say they're not quite sure about. Senate Majority Leader John Thune told CNN's Manu Raju that he doesn't know what President Trump meant by his assertion that the U.S. is running Venezuela, and he said he needs more information. Can you tell us what the president means when he says, is acting President Delcy Rodriguez in charge? Is she running Venezuela or not?
Well, what the president said is true. The United States of America is running Venezuela. By definition, that's true. Jake, we live in a world in which you can talk all you want about international niceties and everything else. But we live in a world, in the real world, Jake, that is governed by strength, that is governed by force, that is governed by power. These are the iron laws of the world that have existed since the beginning of time.
But in terms of day-to-day operations in Venezuela, that is acting President Rodriguez, right? It's not some sort of American emissary.
What I'm saying is, we'll keep going here, Jake. So I want to say what I'm saying, and you'll follow up. But what I'm saying is just one level above that, which is that by definition, we are in charge because we have the United States military stationed outside the country. We set the terms and conditions. We have a complete embargo on all of their oil and their ability to do commerce. So for them to do commerce, they need our permission. For them to be able to run an economy, they need our permission. So the United States is in charge. The United States is running the country during this transition period.
If that's true.
Hold on. I'm going to let him finish, but because he has a lot more times to talk here. But he's basically saying, we have the power. We have all the power. No, we're not going to throw you a freaking bone here. We have all the power. That's basically what he's saying. We have the power, we have the power, we have the power, we have the power. Just so you know, we have the power. This is how he's talking, like this. I'm going to tell you something. We got the power. We got the things. Whether you like it or not, this is how it's going to be. We got Venezuela. We running this big. That's it. What you want, Tapper? What you want, Tapper? Huh? We got the power. That's basically what he's saying the entire time. They're getting drunk off their own supply, guys. They're getting high off their own supply. Let's continue.
Obviously, that doesn't mean that President Trump is setting the bus fare schedule inside the country.
So
doesn't mean that President Trump is assigning the K-12 curriculum in the country.
The indictment that the president and the military were acting on from 2020 was of 6 people. 2 of them were seized on Saturday by our special operators. There are 4 other individuals indicted who remain in Venezuela. Is the U.S. demanding that they be turned over? One of them is Maduro's son. One of them is a former government official. One is a current government official. And one of them is the head of Tren de Aragua, as I'm sure you know. Are they going to be turned over if President Trump is, in fact, running Venezuela in the way you described?
Well, I don't want to. Obviously, we have to balance here, Jake, which I think you more than most understand. We have to balance between, of course, what I can say to you publicly versus very close hold conversations that might be happening privately. And I know you understand and respect that. But I'll answer the question in this way. There might be individuals who are fugitives from American justice that could become part of a future conversation. But it's also true that for government leaders inside of Venezuela, as the president has said, right, we want an interim government that will respect the interests of the people of Venezuela, that wants a good, peaceful, secure future for Venezuela. So I would say it this way. For those who may be indicted, the best choice they can possibly make is to be part of a constructive decision-making process for the future of Venezuela. The best decision they can make is to cooperate fully and completely with the United States to be part of building this brighter future for Venezuela during this interim period.
On another important topic, the premier of Greenland and the premier of Denmark and other Danish officials are responding to a Twitter post from your wife, Katie Miller, herself a former Trump White House official.
Holy crap, he smiled again. But also, let's not forget, this is what started this whole conversation about Greenland, because the woman that sleeps and shares the same bed as this man, Stephen Miller, Voldemort, sorry, Nosferatu, Stephen Miller, she went out of her way to post this on her platform. You realize that she said the quiet part, I guess, she gave the recipe to how the sausage is made and what their plans are for the next wave out to the world to see. And I don't know if that was a whole thing, like this is a whole plan that they just said, hey, we're gonna throw out Greenland now because we need something else that's gonna get America and the rest of the world freaking the F out right now, instead of worrying about these damn Epstein files. Just saying. So go ahead, Katie Miller, throw it out. Throw out all that stuff. Ain't that crazy? She shares the same bed as her husband, which is wild because it's Stephen Miller. But I'm surprised that I didn't know he bumped uglies. You know what I mean? I didn't know he was cracking. But at the same time, because now they're expecting a baby now too. They have a baby on the way, just so you know. But moving on, she goes out of her way to post this on her platform. Of all people. It's almost like I said last show. It's almost like Melania having this information and putting it out, and it just says soon, because it has to be done in like very Melania way, coming soon, something like that, right? It's wild that the wife of a person that's in the same rooms with Trump, hearing all the plans for the future, at least for 2026, is now giving the information to his wife for his wife to put this on her platform. This has close to 30 million views, probably already surpassed 30 million views since this interview, this post. If you see it right there, 13 million views, and everybody and their mama, suddenly all their buttholes just puckered up. What? Good? Greenland? Yeah. Interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Showing Greenland covered with an American flag, saying soon. After that was posted, President Trump repeated the claim that the U.S. needs Greenland for national security reasons. The Danish prime minister responded to this in an interview earlier today, as reported by Bloomberg, quote, "I believe one should take the American president seriously when he says that he wants Greenland, but I will also make it clear that if the U.S. chooses to attack another NATO country militarily, then everything stops, including NATO, and thus the security that has been established since the end of the Second World War." Can you rule out that the U.S. is ever going to try to take Greenland by force?
Well, let me go back a step. The president has been clear for months now. So I know you're treating this as breaking news. The president has been clear for months now that the United States should be the nation that has Greenland as part of our overall security apparatus. The United
Right, but
States,
your wife posted that like hours after the Venezuela operation. That's why it's newly relevant.
No, I'll talk with you about it for an hour. I think it's a really important conversation. I just wanted to reset, Jake, by making clear that it has been the formal position of the U.S. government since the beginning of this administration, frankly, going back into the previous Trump administration.
I want to make this abundantly clear, too. This is the only time I'm going to agree with Stephen Miller. All right? Yeah. Surprise, surprise. But he's not lying on that part. Trump has been talking about Greenland for a while. He's had his eyes on Greenland since before he even walked into office. I'm just letting you know. Sorry, but that is not a huge surprise to us. It shouldn't be a huge surprise to us. What should be a surprise to us, let me make my face bigger here. What should be a big surprise to us is the fact that it looks like he's willing to do it and take Greenland by force. You know, it's one thing to be like, yeah, you know, I really, I love that house over there. That's a really nice house. Such a beautiful house. Look at the color, the interior. You know, you went on Zillow, you cyber stalked the house a little bit. You're like, wow, the interior is ridiculous. Huge basement, huge backyard. It even got a pool and a hot tub. Wow. They got internal speakers in the walls and stuff. Word. And it all is controlled by Bluetooth. Word. And the exterior is fire too. In a really nice neighborhood too. Word. Yeah. You're talking about it. You're looking at the house. And then one day you just walk in and you just take it. Not like you bought it legally. Not like you went through the proper lenders and all that and buying the house legally. You just walk in and go, all right, everybody, it's a robbery. And you just take the mother-loving house. That's what they're going to do. It's one thing to be like, yeah, look at that beautiful house on that hill. That house on the hill. That's my dream home. And then going to that dream home and taking it by force. This is exactly what they're planning on doing. This is not a situation where they're going to go over there and talk to the prime minister of Denmark and go, hey, sup, Mette? What's good? Yeah. Why don't we talk about this Greenland thing? No, they're going to go over there and take it by force. That's it. You already heard the prime minister of Denmark basically say, ain't no way you're taking this from us. You're not taking Greenland from us. No way. But Trump is saying, oh, I beg to differ. We can do whatever we need to do. Again, he says in this interview, there's only 30,000 people there, Tapper. Sorry. There's only 30,000 people over there, Tapper. Who cares? That's 30,000 people. That's 30,000 innocent lives that are living over there. Doesn't matter if there's 2 people living on that island. Doesn't matter. But that's the thing. They're not going to go over there and ask politely, like, Prime Minister of Denmark, s'il vous plaît. Please just give us the island. They're not going to do that. They're not. They're going to take it. It's not going to be good when ish hits the fan. Because then you got other countries getting involved with that ish too. Now you're dragging everybody into the group chat. You understand that? Let me let him finish. But he's not wrong with Trump saying this before. So we shouldn't be surprised about him saying, look at that beautiful house on the hill. I've been eyeing it for years. But it's like, he can't afford it. There's no way he could do anything about it. Somebody already lives in the house. But actually, Trump's going, oh, no, I'm going in there and we're going to move everybody. We're going to forcefully evict the people that literally own the home and legally own the home. We're going to evict all of them and we're going to do it by force. That's where things get very hairy and become a huge problem for the rest of the world.
That Greenland should be part of the United States. The president has been very clear about that. That is the formal position of the U.S. government.
Right, but can you say that military action against Greenland is off the table?
It wouldn't be military action against Greenland. The Greenland has a population of 30,000 people, Jake. The real question is, by what right does Denmark assert control over Greenland? What is the basis of their territorial claim?
Wait. You realize, do you see? Like, yeah, they just gonna go steal. Come on, Craig. It's like, yo, Trump's like, why don't we do an international version of a B&E, a breaking and entering? Why don't we just go in and just take it? You know? And we pee on a rock and go, it's ours. Just piss on a rock. It's ours. It's ours, guys. It's ours 9 now. Okay, we got American troops in here now. It's ours. We got some soldiers bumping uglies with the locals. It's ours now. Sorry, guys. It's done. What's done is done. You're talking about years, several years of Denmark having Greenland as part of their kingdom. Think about this, guys. Come on, y'all. He's sitting there going like, why do they have every right for the place? Throw me a freaking bone here. Explain that. That makes no sense. I'm wondering where his white cat is and his mini-me. That's pretty much what it is. Where's his white pussy and his mini-me? Okay? Dr. Evil. That's what it is right here. Do you realize the lunacy that's coming out of his mouth? And the only reason why I say lunacy is like if this was an unclaimed island and no one was using it at all. Not at all. And it was claimed by no country. This would be a different story. You know, it's like that vacant lot. Nobody wants it, so we take it. We buy it, we take it. This ain't the cat. This ain't the situation. It's been claimed. We heard from the prime minister. She says, hands off. Stop it. And yet he is out here going, nah. They don't have a right to have this. Are you kidding me? Who has a right to have that? What about everybody else who's thinking that? What about other opposing countries that are thinking the same thing about the U.S.? Think about that, guys. Who says that they have a right to take over Greenland? Are you out your cotton picking mind? That should be our country. That should be a part of our territory. Come on, guys. You know the world is watching these videos. The world is watching this interview. And what he's saying out loud, you don't think other countries are thinking the same thing in their crazy minds, these leaders that are out their freaking minds too? Come on, y'all. Come on now.
What is their basis of having Greenland as a colony of Denmark? The United States is the power of NATO.
Wait. Why do we need Greenland? They say it's for national security, right? That's what they say. But come on now.
For the United States to secure the Arctic region, to protect and defend NATO and NATO interests, obviously Greenland should be part of the United States. And so that's a conversation that we're going to have as a country. That's a process we're going to have as a community of nations.
So you can't take it off the table that the U.S. would use military force to seize Greenland. You can't take it off the table.
Jake, I understand you're trying.
You see he's laughing because he's asking, like, Tapper is asking the right questions. And he doesn't want to answer these questions because at the end of the day, it will be military force. There is no way that the prime minister of the Kingdom of Denmark is going to literally say, here you go. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, that's what you're going to do? Okay, here are the keys to the car. There's no way. If it does happen, I will be shook. And it will only be because they're terrified out their gills because what America has threatened Denmark that they would do. That's the only reason why I could see them going, here, take the keys. Whatever you say, bro. We don't want no smoke, bro. We don't want no smoke. But I don't think that they're going to go back down without a fight. And if that fight is more than verbal, what do you think is after verbal? We get into fisticuffs.
Trying very hard to, which again is your job. I respect it. It's great to get exactly the headline, right? That catchy headline.
I'm trying to get an answer to the question.
That says Miller refuses to rule out the United States should have Greenland as part of the United States. There's no need to even think or talk about this in the context that you're asking of a military operation. Nobody's going to fight the United States militarily over the future of Greenland. So
one last question, Stephen.
Doesn't make any sense.
One last question. The president was very quick to say that the recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, opposition leader Machado in Venezuela, doesn't have the support in Venezuela to become the next president or the interim leader. And I wonder where he got that from, given that her cutout, Gonzalez, won the election last year 2 years ago, overwhelmingly, 70% of the vote or something like that. Why does the president think that Machado should not be the next leader? Why does he think she's weak?
Before we get into his thoughts on Machado, I just have to say this too. Could they share? When it comes to Greenland, because he's sitting there going, you don't understand. It's about national security, right? Now, couldn't they just share? Couldn't they have a full-on tete-a-tete little conversation with the likes of the prime minister of Denmark and go, see what had happened was we need a little bit of piece of that land so we can have maybe build a little army base there so that we have some protection in that area too, right? Right? Couldn't they just share? I know that sounds idiotic, but couldn't they just have a conversation and go, listen, we'll just take a little piece of the land. We won't take it over. We just need it for security reasons. Yeah. Wouldn't that be ideal, Texas woman? I feel like that would be ideal, but that's not the way that they're talking right now. They're not talking that way. I think they're getting drunk off the power of what they did with Venezuela. And remember, they're talking about Greenland. They're talking about Cuba. They're talking about Colombia. The U.S. military is about to get very, very busy here. Very, very soon. I'm thinking Napoleon. He's getting his Napoleon on. He's getting his Alexander the Great on. He's like, F it. I'm taking all of these spots. I'm done. No negotiation. Take it. And here's the thing. What did Greenland do to anybody out here? See, Venezuela, I get the Maduro situation. I get that. I get that. Taking that man out because he was a tyrant. Cool. Get it. But then what about what did Greenland do? Greenland is just sitting there chilling. Just chilling the cut like this. Just watching the show from afar, minding its own damn business, and suddenly it's like, wait, me? Wait, I'm a part of this conversation? The hell? How did I get in this conversation? I'm all the way over here, man. Why am I in this conversation? What? And that's exactly what's going on right now. It's weird. But couldn't they just share? Just asking.
First of all Venezuela experts agree. All Venezuela experts agree that it would be absurd and preposterous for us to suddenly fly her into the country and to put her in charge. And the military would follow her and the security forces would follow her. This is not a serious, it's not even a serious question.
So should there be an election?
Let me, if you give me the floor for 30 seconds, let me tell you what we are doing here, Jake. The United States, this is sort of foundational. The United States is using its military to secure our interests unapologetically in our hemisphere. we're a superpower, and under President Trump, we are going to conduct ourselves as a superpower. It is absurd that we would allow a nation in our own backyard to become the supplier of resources to our adversaries, but not to us, to hoard weapons from our adversaries, to be able to be positioned as an asset against the United States rather than on behalf of the United States.
Dr. Evil, okay? He said the quiet part. Well, he said the loud part out loud. We already knew that this was the plan, but he's finally saying it out loud. He said, we're trying to erect a superpower. That's what we're doing here, sir. Freaking bones here, man. That's literally what he's doing. I don't know why that sounded like Sammy Davis Jr. or something like that. Hey, man. Shot, boing, boing, boing. But still, ain't that interesting? Hey, babe. Mr. Bojangles. You know what I'm saying? Like, but here's the thing. He clearly says superpower. He literally said, we are going to become a superpower. That's what we're going to do. Like I said, Dr. Evil. Okay? Mr. Bojangles, you know? Very interesting stuff. He's saying the quiet part out loud, but this is what we've been hearing now. Yes, they are very transparent, but they're only transparent after the fact. You see what I'm saying? They say, we're the most transparent country, administration to ever be a part of the administration, right? He'll say all that, but he doesn't do the transparency stuff until much later. And then they creep it in. He is drunk off of power. This is what he wants. This is what he's been dreaming of. America being the superpower of the entire country, of the entire world, I'm sorry. And then we have territories everywhere. We got Greenland. We got, I don't know, Canada maybe even Mexico. How about Cuba? How about all of Hispaniola, Haiti, and the Dominican? Why not throw in Jamaica as well? Just take them all over. Take them all. Because they want to be the biggest superpower in the world. Didn't the Nazis do that too? I'm sorry, but I'm asking it. I'm not saying that I'm not sitting here saying that he is that, but didn't they do that too? Just take over a whole bunch of land, take over and control over a bunch of countries as well? Did they not do that? He said it out loud, y'all. He said it out loud. So sure, we might be okay. Us Americans might be just chilling in the cut, chilling. But all these other countries that may have, not the greatest economy, or might have some issues, or they might have bad administrations or bad governments over there. All of them should be concerned about this. All of them. Woo! This is crazy, y'all. This is real life happening. This is all happening in real time.
Sovereign countries shouldn't be able to do what they want to do.
The Monroe Doctrine and the Trump Doctrine is all about securing the national interests of America. For years, we sent our soldiers to die in deserts in the Middle East to try to build them parliaments, to try to build them democracies, to try to give them more oil, to try to give them more resources. The future of the free world, Jake, depends on America being able to assert ourselves and our interests without apology. This whole period that happened after World War II, where the West began apologizing and groveling and begging
I don't even know,
engaging these
honestly,
vast
what you're talking
reparation
about right
schemes.
now.
What I'm talking about, Jake, is the idea. And by the way, I know you love doing that smarmy thing, Jake, and I was hoping to be better than that this time.
I asked you about if there should be an election.
Exactly.
I asked you if there would be an election in Venezuela. That's what I asked. I said, why was the president so quick to dismiss Machado? You answered that question. And then I said,
the objective, Jake, is security and stability for the people of Venezuela. With our help and leadership, that country will become more prosperous than it has ever been in its whole history. Venezuelans
but the woman running Venezuela right now is part of the Maduro regime.
There will be conversations, Jake, about all of these guideposts along the way. The reason why I was giving you that speech, which I know you didn't want to hear, is because you're approaching this from the wrong frame. this neoliberal frame that the United States' job is to go around the world and demanding immediate elections be held everywhere, immediately, all the time, right away, to create these vacuums.
That's not what I think, but you invaded the country. We went into the country and we seized the leader of Venezuela.
Damn straight we did.
And I'm saying,
we're not going to let.
So is the U.S. going to have new elections?
Jake, is that we're not going to let Tim Pot communist dictators send rapists into our country, send drugs into our country, send weapons into our country.
Okay.
And we're not going to let a country fall into the hands of our adversaries. The future of Venezuela, working with America, is going to be so bright and so incredible and so positive, and we'll have a conversation about everything that you raised. But the priority right now, as the president has made clear, is a judicious, thoughtful, careful transition process to secure a great future for Venezuela and to secure a great future for America.
All right.
And let's just take a moment and just acknowledge, Jake, that what we've witnessed under President Trump's leadership this last week is one of the greatest foreign policy and military victories this country has ever had.
Stephen Miller, thank you so much.
Hold on. There's a lot to dissect here. There's a lot to say here. First off, well, I mean, even though finding okay, that's a little bit better. Okay. Dr. Evil, he had some things to say there, clearly. He said the quiet part out loud. He said it's all about making America a superpower in this world. And the way I see it is us, U.S., taking over a whole bunch of places. We're just going to take up a bunch of properties, a bunch of countries. Some of them that they just think are whole countries. We're just going to take them over. And we're going to plant our flag in there and say, this is a territory of America. We're going to start taking over these things. This will be we will be a superpower in America, in the world. That's the plan. But here's the thing. Here's the problem. What about us being a superpower in our own damn country? Yeah, that's literally it. That's all I had to say. Anybody? Look at all the problems that we have in our own country, and they're all looking outside the country. They're too busy being boys playing war. You realize that, right? But the only difference is that they actually have real war machines. They actually have real soldiers. These aren't little G.I. Joe figurines. They're actual men and women losing their lives or risking their lives to go out to wherever they end up deploying them to take over these particular countries. Them turning the world into basically a gigantic American flag does not change the fact that people in this country are struggling. What about what's going on here? Now, I know, here's the other thing too. Don't they say that the economy gets better when the country is in war? I mean, that sounds insane, but that's a thing. Allegedly, our economy thrives when we are at war. That's something that's interesting and very true. But here's the funny thing. The trick here is to not use the code words and dance around these code words like you're trying to talk on YouTube or any of these social media platforms. So instead of saying the word, you're saying unalive, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Instead of saying, there was a lot of people who have died, you say there's a lot of people that lost their lives, or there was a tragic person that met their demise and all that. But what's interesting about this is instead of them actually saying what we all know that what they're saying, they use code words to dance around these things because, God forbid, Trump is the person who starts a war. In fact, I think that there's going to be a situation where if they go for this Greenland thing and they actually go by force, they're going to be dancing around the word war, but we're going to see all these other countries or another country getting involved, fighting back, and yet they are going to try everything they can to not label that situation as what it truly is, which is a war. Them going into Venezuela and capturing the leader of that country, tyrannical or not, still is a declaration of some sort of war. It may be a battle or something of that sort, but it's still under the awning of the word war. So now they're talking about Cuba. They're also talking about Greenland. Obviously, they're talking about Greenland quite a bit. And he's laughing it off as Tapper is asking the question like, hey, are you guys going to use force to take Greenland? And he's like, okay, let me explain this to you, sir, Mr. Tapper. Let me just have 30 seconds to explain this to you, sir. And then he explains it. Superpowers and whatnot. And we need Greenland. That is ours. That shouldn't be Denmark's. Why should it be Denmark's? Why do they get the keys when it should be ours in the first place? But then I keep on thinking, I hate to resort back to what I just said a second ago, but I'm going to repeat it again. Why are we so concerned about what's going on over there when we should be looking on to what's going on here in America? Health insurance is out of this world. Just for example, the economy is insane. Gas has not plummeted down to $1.99 a gallon. Maybe in some small towns in Texas, but I ain't never seen it in my neck of the woods. And I for damn sure know you haven't seen it either. I mean, the ones that don't live in small towns in Texas. But other than that, what about the rest of the world? Still, gas is still crazy expensive in LA. That hasn't changed for worth a damn. So what's going on? Why are we focusing on what's really going on here in America? Actually, in America, all the problems that we actually have. Why not go aggressively to solving the problems economically or whatever here in America? But we're not doing that. We're jumping out, or they are jumping out and they're looking east. They're looking at these islands, big and small. They're looking south, and they're literally trying to start fights with other people, with other countries. That's literally all it is. Mr. Peace, Mr. President Peace, doesn't seem like he's all about peace anymore. Now he's about becoming a superpower. We're hearing it from one of his close right-hand men saying it out loud. He didn't deny anything. He said it all out there. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy, guys. Now, here's the thing. Dr. Evil. So he said a lot there. And then he was like, you're so smarmy when you talk. I thought you would change that, sir. And then he said, you guys invaded. I got to pull this back up. I'm sorry. But he said, you guys, Tapper says, you guys invaded Venezuela. And all you did was take the top guy. You didn't change anything else after that. I've even said it. It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. I haven't seen it. And that's what Tapper said. It doesn't make any sense. You're taking the guy, but you don't take anybody else or leave somebody or try to dismantle or arrest all of the administration or something of that sort so that you can totally re-erect the entire infrastructure governmentally from that point on. But they didn't do that. So that's weird, right? That's weird. And now we're seeing that the plan is superpower. That's it. Superpower. So, what say you on that? I find it very interesting. But I do have a question, though, too. And I just did this as a TikTok, as a short, YouTube short. And I'm going to play it for you guys. And I recommend you guys go check it out. And, of course, comment when you get a second and all that, too. But I ask the question because it makes me think of a movie. I don't know, but for some odd reason, I rewatched a movie that I hadn't seen in a very, very long time. It's called Wag the Dog. Let's take a look at this.
Wag the Dog. Are we literally living that right now? Now, hear me out. Last night, I got a chance to check out this movie called Wag the Dog, and it has Dustin Hoffman and Robert De Niro. Now, Robert De Niro's character is this fixer. You get what a fixer does. They fix things for people when they really screw things up. But anyway, he gets hired by the president because it's about 11 days until election time, and he has been accused of doing something really bad with littles. I'm just going to say that, okay? And so they call up Robert De Niro to try to fix things. So he's sitting there going, how can I get people to not look at this allegation and look at something else, do kind of like a red herring, a false flag, so that he can actually get reelected. So in comes Dustin Hoffman, who happens to be a Hollywood producer. And this Hollywood producer comes up with this idea of, hey, we're going to start a war with Albania. That's what we're going to do. But no. It's not like we're going to deploy troops and spend millions and hundreds of billions of dollars or whatever to deploy these troops out there to start a war. No. We're going to do it all on TV. You're going to see it all manufactured on a Hollywood studio lot, stage, and it's only going to be playing out on the telly because, the telly is the idiot box, and whatever we see on the TV, we believe it to be real. So that's exactly what they did. And of course, they concoct like all types of things like war heroes to music like We Are the World, songs like that. And all the while, the American people who literally were in disgust of this president now suddenly show a lot of love and appreciation for this particular president. You see where I'm going here? Okay, so now with everything that's going on now, because obviously, Trump just did this thing with Venezuela. Maduro's been locked up, and he's looking at some serious charges and serious time behind bars. But he's also sitting here going, hey, I'm going after Greenland. I'm going after Venezuela. I'm going after Cuba. I'm going after Colombia. Shoot, everybody. I'm putting cases on everybody like Denzel Washington in Training Day. So the question is, I'm just wondering, are we living in a wag the dog type of situation right now? Because let's not forget those files. Remember those files? Yeah, those files that still have not fully been put out, and a lot of it has been heavily redacted. So I'm asking you guys this. Who is the fixer? Who is our Robert De Niro? And who is our Dustin Hoffman? Because clearly something's going on here. And again, this is a Kansas City shuffle. They're making us look left while they go right. Look at what we're doing. We are staring at Venezuela and Greenland and biting our nails while they are hiding and not meeting deadlines for those files. So comment down below. Let me know your thoughts.
Again, I think this is very interesting. You see the information right there in front of us. We have Epstein files that we're supposed to be seeing. Then suddenly out of nowhere, we are snatching a leader, saying it's not a war. That's the only difference right now. They're not sitting here saying that this is a war, right? They're just sitting there going, hey, look, we're getting this guy. He's tyrannical. He's a narco-terrorist, dagnabbit. Right? And we're seeing all that craziness. Everybody and their mama's losing their doggone minds about that. But then you have them going, oh no, now we're looking at Greenland. Now we're looking at Cuba. Now we're looking at Colombia. Now we're looking at all the other places because they need help too. It's like Trump is basically saying, we are doing the Lord's work. That's what we're doing. We're doing good. We're going to spread Christianity like this is the Crusades. Wow. Okay. By recorrecting their specific governments that are going on in these specific countries, these small islands, big countries, whatever. We're just going to take over. But then you also hear the likes of Stephen Miller going, we're going to turn ourselves into a superpower. That's what we're going to do here. What's really going on here? Remember I showed you yesterday where they had deadlines. DOJ had deadlines for explanations on why they redacted so much stuff, and they did not meet that deadline, guys. They didn't meet that deadline. They have not. So you got other representatives of the House, both on bipartisan, both on both sides, are now basically saying that they are writing paperwork to get the information out without the redactions. They're saying, F it, take it all out. If you're not willing to give us or meet the deadlines that you have not met at all, they haven't met the deadline when it was supposed to just all come out. Millions and millions of files were supposed to come out at a specific time. They did not even put it out. F it. They didn't do that. Then when they got the extension and they still had a deadline to put out, hey, here's the reason why we redacted these things. 119 pages of full black blocks of redaction on every single page. Not even one word is unredacted. You're supposed to explain that. That was due on Sunday. They did not meet that deadline. All the while, everybody's looking over there, right? Some of y'all know that song, okay? Over there, right? We're all looking over here while they're sitting there going, oh, I guess we don't need these files anymore. Everyone's busy about Greenland and Venezuela and what Maduro's doing. Isn't that interesting? Am I the only one who's seeing this? So then you got some people out here. Like I said, who's the Robert De Niro? Who is the Dustin Hoffman? Let's be real. This is not done on a Hollywood stage. Clearly, this all happened. What happened in Venezuela? There's footage of it everywhere. People really did lose their lives, unbeknownst, it seems like, to Stephen Miller. People did lose their lives. Innocent people lost their lives. Let's not forget that. So it's real. But you don't think that this all is falling into place in a way right around the same time that one of the most notorious, most disturbing monsters in the history of this Western hemisphere is about to be exposed, including the people that were connected to this mother lover? And yet they've been very, very slow to put out all that information, the documents, the files, etc. And no, I'm not out here trying to be like, ooh, and trying to throw blame on other people like anybody of TPUSA or anything like of that sort. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking facts. I'm talking about a timeline that doesn't make sense and only makes sense in the way that I'm seeing it right now. And now he's going after everything. Everything. Let's start beef with people. No one's going to give a damn about this paperwork anymore if we're all at war. But we can't say war. Somebody in the corner is going, because Trump's probably like, we got to figure it out. We got to start a war or something. And somebody in the corner, some smart little measly human being with freckles and pimples all over his face is probably going, well, sir. He's just raising his skinny, malnourished arm up in the air. Yeah, you. Sir, actually, we can't call it a war because we know you as, sorry, sir, I'm just going to my notes here. Hold on. They say that you are President Peace. This is what they say, sir. So we can't really say we are at war. Then you got somebody else going, well, actually, sir, Mr. President, we could just not say the word. I actually love that. We won't use the word war. That's what we'll do. Yet it is. This is exactly what they're going to do. They're going to be like, we are taking what's rightfully ours. This is exactly what they're saying right now with Venezuela. You don't think that you just heard it from Stephen Miller? He just said, we are going to take because no one needs it. We need it. Denmark doesn't need it. We need it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, Vance, I said Venezuela. Vance is in the mirror just, dancing to himself. He's like, I'd F me. Just waiting for his moment. That's all he's doing. He's sitting in the corner waiting for his moment. Okay? He like that kid wanted to try that double dutch. He's like, come on, let me in. I got to wait 3 more years. Damn. He's just What is that song? I forgot the song. In Silence of the Lambs, the guy is like, "I do me." What is it? I forgot the song. But anyway, he's just, "I do me so hard." I'm done. I'm done. Oh God, I'm done. But again, "Goodbye Horses" is the song. I don't think I know that song. I'd know it if I heard it. You know what I mean? But still, the smoky eye. Him and Erica Kirk have the same stylist, apparently. You know, maybe he was born with it. No, Chica. That is Maybelline. That is eyeliner, for sure. Okay, for sure. Yeah, Buffalo Bill. So again, guys, what say you guys on all this? Okay, like this is just. I feel like I'm wondering what's going to happen next. You understand? And Christina on Twitch, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate that. And thanks so much for watching on Twitch. You're the one. Thank you. I appreciate you watching on Twitch. I'm on Twitch, guys. I am on Twitch. So follow me over there too. You know, we on all these platforms. Okay. But here's the thing. Let me get this. Texas woman. My mouse is tripping. I don't know what's going on. Again, thank you, Texas woman. You actually think the actions against other countries, as despicable as they are, override Epstein files? TikTok has been able to unread. I think you're saying that they've been able to like copy and paste and take out the redacted stuff and see what's being redacted. Yes, I've seen all of that. And yeah, TikTok has not stopped with their conversation about Epstein. Unfortunately, on TikTok, I won't be able to talk about those things. I'll talk about them everywhere else. But TikTok, apparently, I ask questions and give updates about what's going on in the world. And TikTok doesn't like it. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm going to do what I need to do to continue telling you guys the news and giving you facts. And I'm literally asking questions, you know? So it is interesting. But let me get these super chats here really quick. So Tenna Taylor, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. And just like Tenna, please consider becoming a member by hitting that join button down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. Okay. Support the channel. And I do have something I'm going to be posting a little bit later on today on Patreon. I meant to do it yesterday, but yesterday just got away from me. It was a busy day. But I do have something that's going on that I could use your help on Patreon. So just be on the lookout for that, because there's a new endeavor that I'm bringing into the show. And I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about that. I'll explain more on that Patreon video, and I'll let you guys know about it when it drops. Okay. Texas woman, thank you so much. I appreciate your encouragement. Thank you so much. PJ, thank you so much for love. Bots don't send money. Yeah, they don't. They definitely don't. But here's the thing. Bots on TikTok, I guess, there's plenty of bots on TikTok. There's plenty of crap on TikTok, right? So, maybe I don't know what is going on. I don't. It's ridiculous. I did nothing wrong. Real talk, I did nothing wrong. It was the most perfect account on TikTok ever. But apparently they didn't. I guess I said something or did something that somebody did not like, or a group of people didn't like, and so the next thing you know, I got targeted again. You see what I'm saying? It's BS. It's trash. But it's the world that we live in. I just don't think freedom of speech exists anymore. And I don't think it's existed for a very long time. It's unfortunate, but that's what it is, right? You can't even go onto this platform. I can't go on this platform or many other platforms and say what I really want to say. Hence the reason why there are so many damn code words being used. You think that's enjoyable? I mean, I enjoy it to a certain extent because I get to have fun with it. I try to make it fun. But if I just need to say what I want to say and just be candid about it, I can't. It's annoying. It's annoying. And it's everywhere. It's happening on every platform. Real talk. Something needs to something needs to change. Okay. Angie, yes. I mean, I like to think I am a truth teller, right? Like I said, I'm just here to give you guys the news and keep you guys entertained, right? At the same time. But TikTok don't like me like that, I guess. Happy New Year. Kimberly in Japan, thank you so much for the love. I really, really do appreciate it. Happy New Year to you as well. Okay. And to the fam, and lots of love. And of course, to my mods as well. Okay. For always holding it down. To the mods, thank you guys for keeping this ship in shape without it losing course. I don't know. I was trying to be metaphorical. Anyway, moving on. Amber, thank you so much for the love. J6 are marching to Capitol. Now it's live. Yes, I forgot. They did have that. It is over now. But yes, there were all kinds of banners and whatnot. And yeah. People basically saying, remember the 6th of January. And that is today. So yeah, I can see that happening right now. I don't see it happening. I didn't see it happening last year. I'll tell you what, I don't remember seeing a march last year or the year before that or the year before that. But interesting that it's out here. Okay. Yeah, I'm on Rumble too. KK Nichols. I am on Rumble too. I am. Like I said, I'm on all of them. I say it every show. Every show. I'm on all of them. Streaming or posting or just streaming. So again, I'm on all of them, guys. Cutley, thank you so much for love. Love your content. Whenever you post, you always tell it like it is. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much for the support. Black Lake, thank you so much for the love. They need America to help them build. They don't want to be isolationist, and we are the better choice over China and Russia to help them. You know, Black Lake, I see your point. Okay, I definitely see that. Sure. See, it'd be different. I think I'd have a different reaction. I mean, I'd still be like, yeah, it's about the oil, right? With Venezuela. But I think my reaction would be different if they weren't sitting there going, well, you know, while we're at it, why don't we just look at Cuba? Maybe even Greenland. That's weird. It's one thing to have a successful operation. Go, and they say go without a hitch, but it's actually a bunch of hitches, by the way. Over 80 plus hitches, to be really honest. And may they rest in peace. But it'd be one thing if they just did that and they were done. It's another when they go, well, we've gotten this far. Let's just rip the whole freaking Band-Aid off, shall we? And just turn America into a superpower. You just heard that from Stephen Miller. So these things that are being said do not sound very much like the theme President Peace anymore. They sound like President-ish disturber, right? So I get it, you know, be better for us to do it because we'll be kinder, I guess, than the likes of China and Russia. But you never know. We might be turning into China and Russia. We might have that same energy now as China and Russia. Think about that for a second. And here's the other thing, too. If Trump, see, I'm waiting for the next 3 years, because if Trump does not relinquish the power over the position over to other potential presidential election, elect hopefuls, we're going to be in a heap load of trouble. And it's going to be problems here in America, and it's not going to be problems outside. It's going to be all internal. So again, I hope that's not the case. I know some people are being funny and, or they'll sit there and hope that he's, Trump 2028. But I'm telling you right now, that'll be a heap load of trouble and a heap load of problems if this turns into that. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, it's going to be bad and it's all going to be internal. So I'm hoping that's not the case, right? Black Lakes has said, should you rather have China and Russia have access to their resources along with being in our backyard? No, I never said that. I never said that. I don't want China and Russia right there. Shoot, if they launched like a WMD, take like what, 30? You know, it wouldn't take very long for a weapon to be launched from Venezuela to hit the southern coast of the United States. So no, of course not. I don't want that. Hail to the no. But at the same time, I just think that, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is for this, for that, on that part. Like what Trump did, what they ended up doing. Like I said, sure, they did what they did. Now it's a matter of what they're going to do next, how they're going to handle this situation. But right now, like I said, instead of them just going, okay, now we're going to focus on the government and putting this country back together again. And yeah, we're going to take some of this oil too. All right. But that's not what he's doing. He's going, we're going to piece the place together. We're going to turn this into a superpower. And then we're going to look all the way over there. We're going to look all the way over to Greenland, by the way. We're going to go over to Greenland. We're going to take care of that too. And we're going to take it from their hands. We're going to rip it from their hands. Whether they want to give it to us or not, they will give it to us. See, that's the problem. That's the problem I see. Okay? Yeah, I don't want China and Russia right behind in our backyard. Hail to the no. That's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. It's how they're handling the situation after the fact that gives me great pause. Carl, thank you so much for the love. Hello from Australia. Good day, mate. Hypothetical question. If Trump takes over Venezuela, Greenland, and others, and the next president is a Democrat, will the U.S. give the countries back? You know, that's a good question. That is a very, very good question, Carl. I don't know. From down under. I don't know. Oh, no. Sorry. But I don't know, Carl. But that's a damn good question. I don't see them. I just don't see them doing that. They'll be like, well, he did all that good work, I guess. And maybe the economy is, after all that, after the takeover, maybe the economy is booming like crazy after all this. You never know. But I don't know. I don't see a I don't know. I actually do feel like a left president would actually return the keys to the cars to all the countries, which will make a lot of people very mad. But we'll see what happens. That's a good question, Carl. Thank you so much. Good day. You slip away. You slip away. Thank you so much for the love. I really do appreciate it. If we take over those countries, would it make those people Americans? Good question. That would be if they are indeed a territory of America, like, you know, like Bad Bunny. As much as you guys hate it as like crazy, some of y'all are like, why is he doing the halftime show? That's a damn shame. You guys sing in English. That's what I say, dadgummit. You better sing in English and it better all be in American, right? Newsflash for everybody. Bad Bunny is actually American. Because it'd be exactly like Puerto Rico. Yeah. So I guess, yeah. If these countries turned into territories of America, yes, they would all turn into Americans. Ain't that crazy? Something to think about when they start taking over these countries. Or if they start taking over these countries. You got to remember, Greenland may not be, that might not be a successful approach. Whether they do it by force or if they do it by a conversation, they may, like America may lose that. They may not be successful on that. But a place like Cuba, I could see Cuba folding quickly. You got a grain of sand next to an island. Let's just use that for an example, right? Like it's super, super tiny. Cuba. Only a few million people on that island in comparison to America, right? Yeah, Cuba's going to fold quick. That's if America went with everything at them all at the same time. You realize that, right? America would have to go at them with everything, right? So that would be interesting to see how that transpires. But that's some wild stuff. That's some wild stuff. Yeah. Yeah, MB7. Yeah, you don't have to be American to perform at the Super Bowl. That's absolutely true. But I'm just saying how everybody reacted when Bad Bunny was named the halftime show performer. And everybody and their mom was like, that ain't American. And it's like, who cares? There's been plenty of other people, other artists that were not American that performed halftime shows. Everybody made a fuss about it. I'm like, hey, let it be different. And if it doesn't bring in viewership and everybody's hopping over and watching TPUSA's halftime show, then that will tell the NFL to never do that again. But that's for them to learn, right? That's for them to understand and learn. But I know a lot of people that are very excited to see Bad Bunny perform. So we'll see what happens. America, yes. Do you have your passports? Do you have your shots? Black Lake, again, thank you so much for the love. As a combat veteran, it's astonishing to me how many people have a quote unquote, why can't we just live in a utopian ideology? Our allies are not really even our allies. I'd rather be on the offense than defense. I see your point. I agree. I agree to the point of I'd rather us be on the protection side of things. But the offense thing, I mean, here it is. Yes, we live in a world that a utopian society doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, at least in this moment, in this time. Until we all transpire or transcend our consciousness to a whole other level. Sorry, this is like, now I feel like we in a hot box and, you know, we just took a few hits from the bong. And so now we're like, yeah, man, it's so like, you know, the way that the world is, you know, have you ever seen like a blade of grass and then realize how small we are, how actually small we are in this universe, bro? This stuff is crazy, man. How long have we been talking about a blade of grass? What time is it? Damn, I'm hungry. Are you thirsty? You got some Funyuns in here? Damn. But here it is. When it comes to a utopian world, yeah, it doesn't exist. It never will exist. Not in our lifetime. It just won't. Unfortunately, we got too many people in their fifis. I'm sorry, but it's true. We got too many people like me, right? It's a lot of anger, a lot of aggression. There's a lot of racism. There's a lot of fascism. There's a lot of bigotry. There's a lot of elitism. Okay. Yes, there even is eugenics still living in this world. All that has to be like eradicated before we can ever see any type of utopian world where we all just live together, right? We all have a beating heart in our chests. We are all beautiful people, and we all have our own set of problems and issues. Yes, a utopian society is very, very far away from us. There's no way. Unless everybody, I don't know. It would be a miracle. So outside of that, I agree. We have a lot of people out here that will shake our hands and smile in our faces and then talk ish right behind our backs as soon as we turn around to walk away, right? They're like, oh, great to see you. And as soon as you walk away, I effing hate that dude. Why does he smell like birdseed? You know what I'm saying? Happens all the time. Why aren't we thinking the same thing about all these countries that are messing with America that are just smiling in our face. But as soon as the president leaves and jumps on his big, huge Air Force One jet, that they're not sitting there going, God, I hate that guy. God, I hate the American people. Whatever it may be, right? So, of course, there's people out here that are shaking their hands, being so nice to this person, to America, when in actuality, they have something else in mind. Look at Machado. I'm going to say it. Maria Corina Machado. You really think Maria Corina Machado is saying all those things because she really thinks that Trump is the bee's knees? I don't think so. I think she sees him as an ends to a means. That's what I think. She's moving the the chess pieces in a way so that she can sit there and say, king me. Sorry, that was checkers. I'm kidding. She goes, checkmate. That's what she wants. She knows that she has to play the game to get the checkmate. She's not the only freaking country. Everybody wants to be on top of the world. Everybody wants to be the king or queen. Okay, girls? Okay, girl. Plenty of people want to be the king or the queen. They're just waiting for an opportunity. They're waiting for that loophole. They're waiting for the rhythm to slow down so that they pounce on the situation. So yeah, all of them are looking at America going, damn, America is a hot country, but it's always been a hot country. Before Trump even said that America was a hot country. Let's be real. We know that. We all know that. And there are all these people, other countries, that are watching, envious, and wanting the same success and same power that America has. So this isn't something that just came out of nowhere. But yes, if there was an opportunity where America was screwing up or falling, you don't think that the likes of Russia or China or any of these other countries wouldn't go in and swoop in and try to take over? If you think, nah, they wouldn't, you got another thing coming. They're waiting. Like I said, our society, our country, our culture is emulated and repeated and copied all over the world. I don't see us running around. If we were not the hottest country, which like I said, we've always been hot. I think we've always been hot. Okay. But do you really think that there's these other countries out here? You think that they would emulate all the things that are happening in our society if we were not the hottest country? Think about it. Why do you think English is becoming more of a leading language in the world? Why do you find more people from other countries fluent in English? Sometimes more fluent than their own native tongue. Why? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Huh? Yeah, because we've always been hot. Exactly, guys. Because we've always been hot. Okay? We've always been hot. So again, we might have our issues, but everyone still looks over and says, what's America doing? What is that Kylie Jenner doing today? Who's this Chalamet? Who is this guy? Everyone knows all about these people here in America, but name a popular foreign name that's part of the pop culture zeitgeist. That's foreign. Oh, sorry. That isn't a billionaire. Just think about it. Yeah, who's this Pascal? Oh, yeah, I'm international, baby. Come on. I don't know why I did that, but you see what I'm saying. Okay. Yes, we set the trend. Okay. We are amazing. We do all this cool stuff. And then everyone follows. I'm kidding. There's a lot of other things that, Gangnam Style was cool for a second there. Gangnam Style. You know what I mean? That was cool. I get knocked down, but I get up again. Right? Pissing the night away. Nobody? There's some things. But like I said, America's always been hot, guys. So when they're like, we're the hottest country, just so you know, we're the hottest country. We're back bigger than ever before. We've always been big, And we've always known we were big. Get it? Fellas, am I right? That was juvenile. Sorry. I'm really sorry. Let me get back to these super chats because I got a couple other ones here. Beautiful Messy Ball, thank you so much for the love. I once believed in utopia when I was about 5. I'm sorry. Yeah. And then you grew a brain. Who is that? Is that that's the Tin Man. If I only had a brain, right? So you finally got a brain. Good job. I love it. But that's it says a scarecrow. The scarecrow. Tin Man needs a heart, right? Which one is? And then the lion needs courage, right? I'm done. I'm done though. But that's good. Rook, what up, man? How you doing? What's up? Good to see you too, man. Good to see you. Always great to see you, man. Always great to see you. Black Lake, thank you again. Love that we can agree/disagree and shake hands after. Absolutely, we should be able to do that. That's the whole point of having a platform and being able to have a conversation. Not everything has to be an echo chamber, right? Not everything. I mean, well, not everything at all. We should all have our own opposing views on how things go. If we happen to agree on things, then yes, that's kismet. Okay, that's yay. Right? But again, like I said, like I said, America's always been hot, in my personal opinion. Even when Sleepy Joe was running the country, America was still hot. Yes, we were having our issues, just like the same issues that we're having right now, but we were still hot then too. People were still consuming, still watching, still doing what they were doing. The economy wasn't the greatest then, though, but at the same time, we were still number one on the list. Because you also got to remember, America or these other countries are dependent of America as well. So you see what I'm saying? It's wild. But like I said, they'll sit there and go, "Thank you so much, sir." And then as soon as you leave the room, they're like, "I freaking hate that guy." It's unfortunate. But that's the world that we live in. And they all are looking for that opportunity to take over. Just none of them have had the balls to do it yet. We'll see. I'm telling you right now, if we spread ourselves this thin, if we're looking at Greenland, then we got Venezuela, and then Cuba, let's just say all those three things at the same time, that's spreading ourselves pretty damn thin. I just hope it doesn't have a bad outcome. Greenland, I think, is unnecessary. I think there's a way to negotiate, have some conversations before it gets anywhere near violent or volatile. I hope that the American government does the right thing and tries to find a way to maybe purchase or make a deal before it turns into deployments. But we'll see what happens, guys. Anyway, guys, that is the show. Appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in and being part of the conversation. And I'm going to say this too. Again, please make sure you hit that like button down below. Crush it, do it, hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. If you are watching on these other platforms, like I just got a new TikTok, so please go to Pascal, the Pascal Show 1, and follow that page, please and thank you. For however long it's up for. It might be taken down tomorrow. I don't know. TikTok is very wild, okay? So hit that like button down below, please and thank you. Hit that reaction button on these other platforms. And if you are watching on these other platforms, like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, newly TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, make sure you're following. Follow. Subscribe here on my YouTube channel, please and thank you. Go to my second channel and my third channel. The second channel is called The Pascal Show Clips. The third channel is called Pascal Raw. So make sure you subscribe there. Hit the notification bell on all those platforms so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because honestly, it's a lot of breaking news and random times as well. So please do that for me. That would be greatly appreciated. Hit that join button down below, become a member, check out that Patreon, support if you can over there. And of course, check out pascalmerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there, pascalmerch.com. Okay, guys, it is time to get going. Much love to you guys. Have a great rest of your day. I'm sure I'll be back on in a few hours. Ish keeps on hitting the fan, so we got to talk about it all. So I'll talk to you guys soon, okay? Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye, Dr. Evil.